New England Revolution host Chicago Fire in an All-East conference this weekend. New England have not won a match in their last 5 matches played, and as a result are slowly drifting in points from first place DC United. So you could say this is a must-win match for the home team. Sports writer Kevin Stott is on the line. He's here now. He's going to preview the match for us today. Now, this really is a must-win, actually, for both teams who have not doing so well of late. New England need the 3 points to stay in the points race with DC United, and Chicago Fire are just 3 points of sitting in 10th place in the East Conference there. Will this be translated onto the pitch?
Will it be translated to be a close game? Yeah, I think it's one of those games. I don't know if I put it in this story, but it's one of those games that both teams really just can't really afford to lose right now. You know, The advantage, Natalie, goes to the home team here because obviously they are at home and they're a much better soccer team than Chicago is. So I put more credence in New England being able to wake up than Chicago, which I don't know if you saw. Chicago had 2 own goals in their last game, the first time in MLS history. They lost 3-2 to Orlando City on Saturday, and a central defender put the ball in his own net twice. So they're really scuffling right now in Chicago. Yeah.
Well, looking at the winners market, I am liking the home win, even though they failed to score in their last match on the road playing Portland Timbers. New England a -110 there with William Hill. The draw 250 Bet365, and Chicago Fire 350 Bet365. Who are you backing to win here, Kevin?
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on this one, just because of everything we've talked about. And then the reality, the Fire have 1 win in their last 7 games. That's just pathetic. They haven't won on the road yet either, Natalie. So they have 0 road wins. They've only scored 6 goals away from home. We talked about the 2 own goals. And then New England, the last 5 times they played Chicago here at Gillette Stadium, the home of the New England Patriots, they're 4-0-1. They outscored them 7-2. So they pretty much have their number in this particular stadium.
Now, New England failed to score in their last outing, but they are at home now. And while Chicago lost, they still managed to pocket 2 goals against Orlando City. So the question is will we see goals from both sides in this match? Both teams to score -137 Bet365.
That's a great point. I think that's a good thing to bring up at this particular point in time. We talked about it the last time we talked about the Chicago Fire. They're just a freaky team, Natalie. They, let alone 2 goals that your own player scored to help the opponent win. But they get caught up in high-scoring games, which is kind of rare in the MLS. They're good enough. We talked about it last time. They're good enough to score, but they can't. They either draw or lose. They can't find a way to win. So yeah, the both teams to score is great. The last six straight Chicago Fire games have gone over, and they've averaged 3.83 goals a game. So you plug that in, and it's just, I think the over, the both teams to score are things to definitely look at in this particular game, as well as the home team.
Yeah. Well, the over 2.5 goals is -110 there, William Hill. Bet I quite like in this match, a little bit risky, but it's the New England win combined with the both teams to score. That brings in odds there, 3.75. I've just got the decimal odds to hand, but 3.75, that's quite a return.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And this is one of those games that you can maybe do something tricky like that, combining a both teams to score with a side or a side with a total. Sometimes you could just see, or at least like me, from a handicapping point of view, you can see, you can at least feel, and it's not always right. This is not a perfect science, but you could feel that there's going to be games. This team has scored just 6 straight overs, and 4 of the 5 games both teams have scored, or actually 5 of Chicago's last 6 games, both teams have scored. So those kind of things you just can't. And when the guy on your own team's putting the ball in his own net twice, that's wonderful for the over, And so my theory is, the over in Chicago games until further notice, and the same concept with betting both teams to score in Chicago Fire games, unless they're maybe up in Seattle. I mean, they get up for games. And they have the energy, but they're so loose. They must be loose defensively because they always out 3.83 goals a game when the total is 2.5. So if odds makers were really paying attention, maybe they'd move Chicago Fire odds totals up to 3. But this is MLS we're talking about, and it's not popular enough yet to maybe move subtle lines like that at this point. But I think Chicago Fire games should have a 3 with heavy juice on the under, but. That's just my opinion.
All right. And what do you say, like, the best pick is for our viewers today?
That's a tough one. This is one of those games that I think you can put a straight bet on three separate things, equal amount, and then hopefully win two of them, maybe win three of them. Those three being the aforementioned over 2.5. The best odds out there are at William Hill, minus $1.10. Both teams to score, yes, minus $1.33. Bet Victor had the best odds on that this morning. And then, as we said, it's not in my story, but I think you can lean towards the New England Revolution here because the Fire, I mean, it's a desperation situation for New England, and they are a second-place team. And like you said, Chicago Fire's in 10th. They're in last place in their conference. So they're traveling probably 1,500 miles to New England. They're bummed out that their own player scored 2 goals in a loss at home to an expansion team. So they're not feeling good about themselves. I mean, a normal team could just, like in other sports, would just wake up and say, hey, we got to win this. We really need to at least not lose. But we're talking about the MLS here and the Chicago Fire, and they're a choppy team. They were choppy last year, and I expect them to continue being choppy until further notice.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm 100% behind you actually on those picks that you've given. I like them all. And if those watching, if you would like to go and read Kevin Stott's full article posted on SportsBookReview.com, the link can be found in the description right below this video. Kevin, thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome, Natalie. Thank you.